4 weeks complete now. Our second big scrimmage. Walking off the field, continue to feel good about our progress. Certainly feel good about the work that we got in today. What happens with a scrimmage is it unveils the situational aspect of football that even though we try to replicate and practice some days it's not the same sequencing. So to see how the guys respond to that. Certainly respond to the good and the bad that occurs, through their play. That's all part of a scrimmage. So, I think you walk away and you continue to see some guys step up. I know we got some guys out there today that hadn't been out there previously last week, and again, like the progress we're making. We got another week in front of us. A couple practices Tuesday, Thursday, then our spring game, which will continue to be a evaluation tool for us. So, I walk out the field feeling good, and I know this week did present a challenge with Chuckie Keeton, getting the opportunity to go out to Seattle to join the Seahawks. So I've been the substitute teacher this week. That's what I feel like a little bit. You get thrown in the room, just trying to continue to make it work. But it's been good to work with those quarterbacks this week. Certainly appreciate Chuckie, what he brought to our program. The timing is the timing. The NFL doesn't quite work on the same cycle as college, and these opportunities don't always. Don't think they're always going to pop up. The quarterback's coach in Seattle, Chuckie had worked with a little bit, and so again, appreciate what he did, and certainly wish him well at the same time. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
The offense came out firing today on that first drive. What did you see on that drive from those guys, and how good does it feel to set a tone?
Yeah, as the head coach, again, you want the ebbs and flows, the back and forth. I know, for our offense to show what they can do and be mixed as far as the run pass, and that's what happened. I know that first drive, and it was finished with a, really good play and adjustment in the air from Tommy to Taco. And it was a play where Tommy had to process some things. Taco wasn't the primary relative to that play call, but then, he got the ball where it needed to go relative to the defense called. So, that was it was a really good way. And I thought Tommy, continues to be very efficient. He's showing big play capability in the pass game. I know we didn't connect another one that he really threw a beautiful ball down the field. So allowing him to make progress where it's not about his ability to run the football is really what spring has been for him. And, really like the progress that he's making.
And what dimension does Taco have?
Well, Taco is just, I think, a really good football player at the root of it. And not having him through a bulk of last season offensively, I think that hurt us. The obvious thing is the punt return game and what he had brought there and will continue to bring there. But offensively, he's got feel. He's a really explosive athlete, but he's got really good feel at the same time. So whether it's downfield catching the ball, whether it's feeling out spaces between linebackers and feeling in zones and those type of things, and then the ability to hand the ball from time to time, that was a dimension that we missed. Really in its entirety last year. I think we tried to place guys in those positions, but they weren't who he can become. And he was certainly on the climb last spring when he got hurt. So it's been really encouraging to see him really continue that this spring.
How was kind of being the substitute quarterbacks coach? How was that kind of affected your day to day? I mean, is it a massive change, or is it?
Well, I think looking at it from a 2-week perspective, which this is, not a massive deal. But I think you are reminded from day to day why this would be complicated the way I want to do things. Meaning, there's plenty of hats I want to wear as the head coach. There's meetings that take me out of this building. There's opportunity to spend time with the defensive staff that I've, in some ways given up these couple weeks. Even some meetings, yesterday. The quarterbacks are in that room waiting for me to get back. So I think in the short term here, I'm fine and good, and I appreciate, having the opportunity to move those guys forward in these 2 weeks, I guess, and then really kind of assess, okay, as an offensive staff, to be in that room. Okay, what, I really like Chuckie and what he brought, but now what's going to be the best, the best replacement, I guess, moving forward, to kind of to take a step back, sit in that room, and assess. That's been good. So short term, fine. Long term, it isn't where I think I suit this program best, but we're having to do what we have to do right now. Mostly, yeah. I was. How long did I coach as an assistant? 23 years. I think 19, 20 of those years were quarterbacks. So,
A couple weeks ago, you spoke about a lot of young guys progressing. So, how's that continued into?
Well, I think you week to week. I think that's a better way to maybe look at it. So within this week, I think young guys continue to impress. I know. Like in the O-line, that's a place we need to continue to figure out how this depth works out. I know Burke Mastel and Cedric Jefferson are guys that continue to, to show what they can do. I know the guy that I thought really had a good week and had a good camp is Jacob Trimble at receiver. And I know Jacob played last year, but he was kind of here and there and everywhere, and did some things, but really, establishing himself. You can see that happening this week. I know on the defensive side, I've said his name before. I think Bryce Creeby continues to make moves on that side of the ball. Far from perfect, but continues to make moves. And another guy that factoring into that safety nickel position that's continued to make strides is Taden Gray. Whether I've mentioned him or not, I'm not sure. But a young guy that hasn't done much. So I think that's just a couple guys, but that group of second year now guys finishing up their first year that will be redshirt freshmen. I think there's really some guys that are going to make impacts there. And I think there's some third year guys too that are making their way kind of across the team as well. So. Oh, I should have that answer prepared. The safety group, and that's the safety group now. That's Rylan Orts had some hamstring issues, so he hasn't done a whole lot. But behind him, Brock Steele, Tyson Pottinger are guys that we need to sort out. If Rylan's not able to go, what's that going to look like? And I think both those guys are doing some good things. I think the free safety tandem of Polidor and Stillwell continues to do well. And at that nickel position, that's where Miles Jackson is residing right now. I know we'll get Caden Dowler back, and that's where Taden Gray fits in as well. So I think that position played well. We lost Lavelle out of that group from this past year. We returned a bunch of guys with experience. So I think seeing the depth continue to improve there, I think that's a group that I would point to. And it's a group being coached by a new coach too. Coach Owens, credit to him coming in and, really being able to make his mark, I think, in a pretty short time.
I know it's always about getting better every day, and it's early spring ball. But how do you either measure success for the spring game next weekend, or what are you looking for as far as progress?
Yeah, what we talked about out of Thursday's practice is, hey, this is not reality. We don't play till August 24th, but think of it this way, guys. If we were to play today or play next Saturday, whatever, would your coach feel comfortable with you going into the game? And I really want our coaches to articulate that to our players out of this weekend. And that's, in some ways, that's our coaches, will be being willing to put the stamp on them right now. And there'll be plenty of guys that stamp's probably, it's not quite there yet, and that's okay. So, what kind of progress do we make in a week? What does next week's game look like? The spring game, even more so, creates the situation of time and score, which is added to an added element. So, taking every opportunity we can to evaluate, get as many guys positioned to So yeah, as we leave April here, hey, we feel good about them. The guys that we do, they better continue to solidify that, and the guys that don't, do everything they can. We need a team full of guys hungry to get on that field, and as coaches, we need to be able to feed that hunger with not only where they're at right now, but what do they need to do moving forward.
You guys were at the rodeo last night. How was it?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for us to turn the favor, I guess. I know our guys running out there with 7 flags isn't as spectacular as the horses going out there, but in the rodeo team. But it's an opportunity to return the favor, and I think there's such a connection amongst our fan base between the rodeo program, the football program that. For us to be able to do that, amazing, a packed arena again, and all kinds of actions. It was cool last night. The 7 guys that went out there are 7 Montana seniors. It's the first time we've had 7 guys that all came in cowboy boots, so that's a good step. So I know they enjoy it. It's an easy ask to say, hey, do you guys want to be part of this? And I know that's something that they really enjoy. And I know, those Saturdays in the fall, we certainly appreciate what the rodeo team does for us.
Piggybacking off of that, where would you put that tradition in the run out? Because I think, my personal opinion, I think it's one of the best in the entire country. So, in your opinion, where does that run out rank?
Oh, it is right up there. In combination with our creative team, with the video, which we don't get a chance to see, but you can kind of feel happening from the locker room. No, it's right up there, and there's so much coordination to get those 7 horses with the riders to do that and pull that off, and no one get hurt at the same time. I know. No, I'm sure it happens once a year where someone unknowingly almost gets clipped. But no, it's as impressive and as exciting, and I know it really impacts the energy that our guys feel in the stadium on game day.